Hello everyone and welcome to this week's short video tutorial. This is a commentary in English of a match that was played in 2008 in the Chinese A-League. Red was Master Huang Hailin, Black was Grandmaster Wang Bin. This was a very brilliant kill and seldom is a match won so quickly in competitive play. So without further ado, let us begin the sport. Sorry, before I forget, this was spot 41 of the top 50 selected brevities from the periodical Qiyi. Okay, red started with the pawn opening and black countered with the pawn opening. So the opening system was basically defined. It will be the pawn versus pawn opening. Red continued with c2 equals to 5 for the central cannon. And black chose the screenhouse defense. So the match transposition into the central cannon with the pawn advancement versus screenhouse defense. Now R1 equals to 2 is usually is also played commonly, leading to one of the most commonly played variations. So far so good. Black would adopt the 5-7 cannons, and black would play h3 plus 2 to prevent the red left chariot from being developed. Now, in the past, developing the horse as a riverbank horse was very fashionable back in the early 2000s. But currently, R9+1 is played, and there are many games which are played using this opening system or opening variation. A short introduction. R4 plus 3 to trade chariots is also another major variation. You see that this will lead to a very complicated situation. And it will usually be a draw if both players played correctly. And this was a match that was held in 2012. Grandmaster Li Qing drew his game against Grandmaster Zhao Guorong. As mentioned before, h4 r4 plus 3 to trade chariots will also be commonly seen. Just a short recap. Black will still have a playable game. So this is one of the most complicated opening systems in Xiangqi today, and it will be impossible to go through them. Please go to the website. I've left the variations on the board over there, and go through them at your own pace. So back to the game. h3 plus 4 was played, and in this match, Grandmaster Wang Bin chose to play r1 plus 3 to fortify to protect the central cannon. Other commonly played variations would be to play e3 plus 5 or e7 plus 5. Again, this would be another very complicated variation. So for the e3 plus 5 variation, red would capture the central pawn, trade chariots, and although black had fewer pawns, his pieces were in the open, and he would still be able to put up a fight. As for e7 plus 5, black would develop his chariots left chariot, rank chariot, again capturing a central pawn. And red will still have a slight initiative. Again, these are very complicated variations. Please view them at your own pace on the website. Red continued with R9 plus 1, but in the past, R2 plus 6 was also seen, E3 plus 5, and there will be more very complicated variations. But for today's spot, we will concentrate on R1 plus 4. E3 plus 5 has also been seen in the past, which will lead to a very entangled situation. But in this match, black chose to play r1 equals to 4 to command this very important whip file. And red continued with r2 plus 4. However, from the way the match went, r2 plus 6 might have been better for red. It was at this point that black chose to develop his chariot in this very unusual manner. With r8 plus 1, the black chariot was now prepared to traverse, most probably to the red file, to take control of this file. Now this was a novel approach, which would lead to a very brilliant kill because red would let his guard down. So red chose to attack with r9 equals to 3, applying pressure on this file since the chariot had moved. But black did not bother about this and continued with his attack, threatening to capture the red cannon with this move. Because the great cannon did not have any good space to move, one commonly played approach to this game will be to retreat the cannon to the third rank, where it will be protected by the chariot and still allow red to apply pressure on this file. And because the cannon was here, black would have qualms trying if he wanted to advance this horse h1 plus 3, because the cannon will be blocking the horse from and prevent the black horse from realizing its full potential. Black continued with r8 equals to 6, and red continued with h4 plus 3. At this point in time, it would seem that both colors were attacking, but there was no major danger at the moment. Now, black retreated his cannon, threatening to play c8 equals to 7. And red played red played r3 plus 2, preparing to guard his pawn rank and perhaps to to advance his central pawn for attack. However, black had neglected or underestimated the damage that these two chariots can cause. So at this point in time, black would finally unleash the biggest shot of this game, which would be to sacrifice the chariot to capture the advisor. This was the game-winning move, as this would be a check. In the match, red played k5 equals to 6. What would happen if k5 plus 1 were played? The horse, which had been stationed nearby, will now jump into action, going for the angular horse check. And black would also have a winning position, because black would now be prepared to move his chariot away for discovered checks, and there will still be other attacks possible. I ran the position through my computer program, and these were the moves given that would lead to the final checkmate for black. So black will try to move his king to safety, sacrificing the chariot again. Check, check, check. Now, if black moved the king here, this would still be a checkmate. But even so, red would checkmate with this move. So this was basically a checkmate situation if red chose to move his king also. In the match, red chose to play k5 equals to 6, and black captured the other advisor with a check, forcing the king to the third rank, and the horse jumped into action. Now, the rest of the kill will be I ran the position through my computer again. Now, black would checkmate in the following manner. Because the cannon was prepared to advance, the strongest defense that red would have would be to play h9 equals to 8. But black would now use the other cannon to prepare to go for a double cannon checkmate. And red would have to try to defend in this manner. Black would simply move an advisor and prevent the chariot from capturing the cannon. And the horse will be sacrificed in the process, but Black would now play k6 equals to 5. Check. And this will be the final checkmate for Black. So once this position was reached, Red finally decided that he had enough and decided to resign. So these were the moves that were given in the match, but I've added a few more moves for the beginner to understand why Red had resigned. So losing so quickly in such a major tournament was very rare, and this was because Red did not appreciate the damage that these two chariots could have done. So a short recap. This board started with a pawn versus pawn, but just positioned to the central cannon with third pawn advancement versus Black's queen house defense. So far so good. Now this was a novel approach, and with this move, Red chose to move his horse away, and Black retreated his cannon, and this was the final mistake that Red made. And from here on, Black would sacrifice his chariot, and basically the game was done. Check, check. And as can be seen, I added a few more moves. This will lead to the final checkmate. Checkmate. So this is a very short but brilliant brevity, a brilliant kill by Black. I hope you like this. I hope you like the work that I've been doing. If so, please give me a like on my on my Facebook channel, my YouTube channel, and my Facebook page. Thank you.